In this video, we will take a look at the incredible 1-to-1 scale RMS Titanic and talk with the creators working on this project, Tonylestark and Boneshredder.
I never got to have like a personal project. I've always my base has always been like the city and also since release. So I've never had like a personal tile with a personal project. You know, to change IDs sometimes, like from building the city, like Bones was working on his personal stuff, like his planes, his little air race and stuff. And then I started going there, building my own boats and stuff. And then I realized I wanted to make this beta project I had of making the Titanic, because I just love the boat, honestly. I think it's the nicest boat there is. So I started this, and then I told Bones that I would be willing to, you know, let him join my project and do the interior, because we work really well together, and I've learned a lot from him. So he joined in, man, and that's how it started. So I got all the stuff prepared, then tried on different dynamic core layouts, and I also tried shrinking the ship to 50% scale and call it like the Tiny Titanic, because I couldn't get the full thing. And then that's where I decided to make the static, and from that point I just sold off pretty much everything I had that was in containers that I could spare, and I started buying all the stuff because I didn't have time. I wanted to start building now, and I laid down with the free projectors for the free sections all of the exterior cubes, and then as soon as I hit the interior, Bones showed up and we started massacring this.
But what do you think about the timeline for this thing? How do you see it going?
Getting this dining room done with the entrance with the stairs, this is the main part technically of the boat, in my opinion, because the staircase goes up to all the other levels. But the thing is, it's different height, so all the other decks are a different height. So let's say, you know, we do the grand stairs, we have to redo it and readjust it every single level. We have to start at a small section like now, completely finish it from A to Z, and then the step after that would be to make all the hallways, let's say, towards the rear of the ship. And there's no projector for this. No one that I've found has done a 3D model of the interior. So the interior, I'm using, like I said earlier, the Project 401 mixed up with the actual plans from the encyclopedia, and we're trying to scale it as best as we can.
How many cores are we looking at here?
I've been saying it's 3 cores, but it's actually 5, because there's, I mean, for 20 voxels on each tip, I needed a core, because I was short 20 voxels or something on each tip. So it's 3 cores long. This whole exterior cube placement took about a week. These cubes of color is all the layers. So let's say the blue one is the first layer, and then the green one is second, and they're all named out to 5th. So I can just press these and go to all my layers really quick. Yeah, about 2 weeks to get these rooms. And like I said, we've went really basic for some stuff, just so we can know, because when you're working with multiple layers, you end up with issues, right? So let's say I got these pillars. Well, the positive thing is that the chairs can be close to the table, and then the chairs also to the pillars. Pillars are 2 layers by themselves, and then chair is another 2-layer, table is 3 layers, and so it gets really messy. So it's fun to have a quick go to make sure that, you know, all your stuff works with the layering. And then after that, once you know, okay, this chair, I can spare this number of layer, or else I have to add other cores. Yeah, it kept me small. Those nails here, see, Bones, this is the actual real menu, the last dinner menu they had on the Titanic, and there's 2 little nails going through it, so it's pinned to the sign if you want. So you can do a lot of stuff with multiple layers, and that's the power I think they don't show. You can use as much layers as you want and get those details.
So let's talk about this flower on the table. How many cores is that made on?
That is so the little flower pot is 1 core, the stem is another core, and then the rose is another core. So this is 3 cores. So we're using 3 layers on that.
A chair this close to the table, a chair this close to the column. You kind of you forget all about that imaginary grid, you know, you kind of always have in your head. It's really amazing.
Yeah, you can break basically the law by doing that, in the core law if you want. And the chair is also in the dining room, which row is it? Yeah, this row right here. The back, well, the back leather piece is on 2 different cores because they are too close to each other. So if you're only doing that work on one core, there is no way, even with polling, to get that. It's like impossible. So, doing that, we're able to get what we want and make the best of it. And when I was trying to add the table legs right here, actually, where we're standing, there's the pillar with 2 different layers. And I'm actually out of layers to put the table legs. So I gotta actually add a core if I want to add the table legs on this particular table.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it didn't have legs, man. I'm looking at, okay, the glossy aluminum, the matte light beige marble for the paper, the matte white concrete for the napkin. How many combination of honeycomb do you look at, or have you decided moving forward, like paper will be this, napkins will be this, tablecloths will be this? How does that work?
We really love marble because marble has really, really nice colors. Plastic obviously can be used in some instances, but it's very limited in my book. Like marble is always winning. And how we go is we just deploy pucks. So if we're working like on a certain, like let's say the chairs, we got all the green out that we were interested in. So like the marble and all that, and then we also got some plastic out just to make sure that there's not a better green, and then we just like put that somewhere like else in the Titanic and just like put a bunch of pucks and decided on which green. And then we also went to the Project 401 game and looked at pictures also on Google that we can find and just try to decide like which suits the best. Honestly, it's there's no magic to it. It's more the texture, I think, because some voxels have some very specific textures. So I personally choose, like, let's say the concrete for the top linen because it has like some kind of circles and like pigments.
What's going on with these chairs in the center? Looks like
those are the elevators. So if you like say Google the elevators, the thing is the doors are like a nice like mosaic of iron and yeah, this is just done so it's there. It's gonna be redone later on with like, I don't know, like 10 layers and then try to get it as close as possible.
Where do you guys think you will work in the most layers?
Well, I think we actually want to get the railings. There's like little flowers and stuff, and a bit like the elevator doors, they have like all these patterns in it, covering it, and the angles in these stairs in real life, it's insane. Like honestly, it's a piece of art, and to remake that in voxel, it's going to take honestly at least a month just to figure it out.
Hey, Geo came through here, right? What do you think, man?
They had a blast. I think it was with magic and stuff, and it was fun to see that. It was it feels rewarding, like putting all these efforts. It's fun to see people enjoying something you've built. I mean, it's
oh yeah,
that's what I like about the game. I mean, you make something, people buy blueprints and stuff, but this is more like a monument.
For some of the details, like on the ceiling or in the other room at the walls, those panels around the windows, I'm setting them up in Blender so I can project them in scale for the game. I measure out the blocks and stuff, so I'm sure it's the right size.
So like you can see, I placed all the piping and like placeholders, so I know where the pipes are on the real ones. So this way, I can when I build the pipes, I can place them down. And those big chimneys need to be angled, so this is just for the height reference, but they're gonna be angled like I think it's like 11 degrees or something. Overlapping cores gives you way more options. I mean, you could do that if you really want like no reactions, but if you use it with like massive skills, it opens up, like we could personally here, we could go up to 30 cores per core. So let's say the Titanic is like 3 cores long. So we could have 30 cores on each with 30 layers, which would give us enough to make spoons and forks and knives and like really intense detail if the time is invested.
Wow.
So beyond that, like once we get like the whole, because you get issues when you build, like it's fun to build like nice stuff, but it's also fun to go a little fast. So using multiple layers, you can like lay out your stuff and know like, oh, how big the tables are, and then you can go back to them and then add those knives and forks if needed. But yeah, the goal like in a year is to have the most detail anyone's gonna have seen in this game, and hopefully that could help show the game's like potential.
Already the work is really intense, but I'm looking forward to see you guys go as far as you're describing.
Eventually, if you want a room, that's a thought I had. Once we get to the higher decks and the suites, I'm gonna
Yes.
be able probably to rent like cores inside the suites, and then you know, we can make I mean, all the furniture we'll have built, people can make their own rooms and stuff. So I mean, yeah, I don't expect a lot of people to do it, but you know, those who want
I'm
to do
in.
it,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I'm all
let's
about
go.
that. I'm all about that, man. What's the next room, do you think?
The restroom.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
This
Yeah.
shit needs a beautiful toilet.